So the last bill we talked about that would allow for lawsuits against gun manufacturers, that's a House bill that passed the House. A Senate bill that passed the House, meaning it passed both chambers, would allow for certain types of pregnancy care centers to be charged with deception. And this is obviously a big issue dealing with access to abortion and the sentiments that are a lot of passion behind on each side of the equation here, either those who oppose easy access to abortion or those who want easy access to abortion, and what to do with these pregnancy care centers who give other options other than abortions. State Representative Tara Costa Howard carried Senate Bill 1909 in the Illinois House, and she opens up the debate with a lot of questions, but very few answers that were proposed and that were responded to yesterday on the House floor. So here is the opening of this debate.
1909 is an initiative of the Illinois Attorney General's office. The bill's intent is to prevent limited services pregnancy centers from using deceptive practices to intentionally interfere with access to an individual's health care. Senate Bill 1909 amends the Consumer Fraud and Deceptive Practices Act to prohibit limited services pregnancy centers from using deceptive practices to interfere with or prevent an individual seeking to gain entry or access to the provider of an abortion emergency contraceptive. It also prevents these centers from inducing an individual to enter one of these limited services centers. It also prevents them from using deceptive practices in advertising, soliciting, or otherwise offering pregnancy-related services, or in providing pregnancy-related services. Madam Speaker, for the purposes of legislative intent, the intent here is not to disrupt the authority of the Illinois Department of Financial and Professional Regulation to discipline or regulate the conduct of licensed medical professionals. In addition, this bill is not intended to punish medical providers, such as licensed providers who provide obstetrical or gynecological care, simply because they do not perform abortion. Healthcare providers will not be subject to enforcement under this bill so long as they do not employ fraud, deception, misleading practices to interfere with or prevent another from accessing comprehensive reproductive health. Simply put, this bill does not compel speech. This is about consumer protection from bad actors. This bill does not shut down limited services pregnancy centers. It is not a per se prohibition to these centers as long as they are not engaging in fraud and deception.
So again, Tara Costa Howard on the House floor yesterday with the Attorney General sitting right next to her on the House floor talking about this bill and a lot of questions. One state representative, I believe this is Jackie Haas, she asked for specific examples of where this is a problem. Is it a problem? Something that needs this type of remedy? Here's Tara Costa Howard responding to that question.
So can you tell me specifically what the nature of these complaints are? How many have they received, and when were they received?
Leader Haas, as you know from committee, those questions were asked, and the Attorney General's office has stated that they will investigate and each case on a case-by-case basis.
Correct. But with this initiative being brought, and if complaints have been received, out of an abundance of complaints being received, I would like to know how many those are, the nature of those, and when they were received.
I don't have that information before me, and as I said, the Attorney General's office will investigate each claim on a case-by-case basis.
Investigating each claim on a case-by-case basis. Tara Costa Howard said that over and over again to questions yesterday on this bill.
So in committee, I asked a series of questions seeking clarification and examples of what would be considered misrepresentation and material facts. And there was absolutely no clarity that could be given. The only response that was repeatedly given was that each situation would be reviewed on a case-by-case basis. Can some clarification now be finally given?
Representative Haas, the Attorney General's office will review each instance on a case-by-case basis and make its determination.
And again, another answer very similar to the answer she's given. Here's State Representative Adam Niemberg with some questions he posed to Tara Costa Howard.
Could you give me an example of what a violation of this act may be?
The Attorney General's office will examine each case on a case-by-case basis.
So again, each case will be examined on a case-by-case basis. More from State Representative Adam Niemberg.
So, is the Attorney General sitting next to you?
I have the good fortune to say yes to that question.
Perhaps the Attorney General can elaborate on some of these questions that we're asking here today, because I think that...
Representative, your questions need to be addressed to the legislator.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I think that getting answers, legislative intent, on a bill that is as drastic as this, a limited service pregnancy center that offers health counseling service, ultrasounds, pregnancy option counseling, may not advertise or offer pregnancy-related services.
And Tara Costa Howard said, listen, a judge will determine if it's deceptive and that these pregnancy care centers just shouldn't lie.
SPI Studios. Take easy way out. WMAY FM, Taylorville.